Earlier this month, President Cyril Ramaphosa called for businesses to invest in the nation's future by employing more young people and, where possible, to do away with the requirement of prior work experience. This as many young South Africans are not able to pursue their higher education training and acquire much-needed skills, leading to unemployment. To highlight the importance of skills development, the Department of Higher Education and Training will, from the 1st to the 3rd of February, host the WorldSkills South Africa National Competition. It's a conference and career festival as well. Now, the event, being held at the Nkosi Albert Lutuli Durban International Convention Centre, will increase awareness of apprenticeships and artisanal skills, raising the standard of vocational education and training. But to tell us more about the WorldSkills South Africa National Competition Conference and Career Festival, we're joined by Joey Bopape, who is the Acting Chief Director responsible for artisan development at the Department of Higher Education and Training. Joey, it's good to have you. Thanks very, very much for joining us here on the program.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So the Stats South Africa Quarterly Labour Force Survey for the third quarter of 2023. It was released last year, obviously indicating that 4.6 million young people are unemployed. This is a devastating number. How can skills development in the artisan trade actually go ahead and mitigate some of this?
You know, as a country, we've got one big problem, that our youth or young people in the country, always when they are done with their matric, they think of university. They never think of going to a TVET college to pursue artisanal training. And the economy of this country needs skilled people that can work with their hand to ensure that this country, its economy, it's moving. Industries need very people that are very much skilled. And we believe that by having a lot of young people going into this trade, that will help the country grow its economy.
This is a harsh reality, because when you look at the amount of students that really want to get into tertiary institutions, they really do try and pick more of the major academic institutions and want to try and get a degree, whether it be in commerce or arts or sciences, and try and get into those kind of areas. But we find that, firstly, a lot of them are not able to do it. Secondly, there's not enough space for them. But at the same time, these the young skills that we are missing here in the country, which are desperate, are not needed. Why is there such an attraction to want to go and get a university degree that perhaps may not get you many places, and yet when you have skills, chances of finding a job and helping the country is even better?
You see, it's a stigma that we are facing as a country, that everyone thinks that to have a matric, to have a university degree is the way to go. If you go into the most developed countries, the likes of Switzerland, in their country, 75% of their young people go to TVET colleges immediately after grade 9. They never even think of going to matric. Those that goes to matric, they're the ones that want to pursue academic route. What we want to do with this career festival that we're going to have in Durban is to highlight the plight, the importance of these careers, your skills that the country needs so deeply. So we're trying to change the narrative that our country as well needs a lot of skilled people. If you look into our situation, 75% of the young people that pass matric, they want to go to university. We think that if maybe we can change the narrative, maybe that can assist so that a lot of them can go to TVET colleges and have skills. Remember, when you are skilled, you can either look for employment or be your own boss by starting your own business.
Yeah, I mean that's a fact. That is there's no two ways about it. I mean, it doesn't matter where you go in the world; those skills will, they'll hold you in high regard, and that you're always needed. You're always needed with those skills. Quite a sobering stat, and one that I don't think we are reaching at all. I remember I think it was back in 2022, where Dr. Bladen Zamande warned that South Africa needs at least 60%. That's 60% of school leavers to pursue training in a trade to meet the country's demand for scarce skills. Are we anywhere near that?
We are working towards that. We are trying very hard as a Department of Higher Education and Training to, like I have said, to change the narrative. As we sit now, the country is producing run around 20,000 artisans per year. But if you look, the number that we need is quite less, because if you check in the household, just to give an example, every house needs sanitation. It need plumbers. Any household need electricians. You need furnishers. All of those things come from the hands of an artisan. That's why we think it is very much important to hold hands together and ensure that these young people understand why is it so important for us as a country, for the youth to pursue this training as artisans.
Yeah, I remember once speaking to, it was a CEO of a major company who, one of the days he took a young student with him to sort of job shadow him, and the student said, "What would you study? Had you given another chance, what would you do?" He said, "I'll tell you what I would do. I'd become a plumber or an electrician, and then once I'd done that, I would study business, and I'd open up my own business, and that's where I would take my career. You're guaranteed to make a success of yourself." And this is coming from a guy who really was, the head of many people. So when you start getting advice from people that are in the know saying that to have a skills is possibly one of the best things that you can possibly do, it's very important, and perhaps we need to sit up and listen to that, because we all need these skills. So talking about these skills, you're hosting the WorldSkills South Africa National Competition and Conference. It's a career festival at a time when young South Africans are preparing to start their 2024 higher education academic year. Perhaps tell us a little bit about the event. What's it all about? What'll be on show? Things like that.
It's a very massive event, if I may tell you, from the 1st to the 3rd. What is going to be happening in Durban ICC? In the actual ICC itself, there will be a National Artisan Conference, wherein all people will come together within the space of artisanship to discuss how can we get these young ones into these qualifications. That is one. Number two, from the 1st to the 3rd, there will be skills competition. Remember, South Africa, it's a member of WorldSkills International, and we are expected to participate in all the international events. The next one that we are going to have, it is in France, Lyon, around September in 2024. So the national skills competition that we're going to have in Durban, it is in preparation for the international skills competition that will be hosted by France in Lyon. Then the other festivity that will be happening in Durban will be the career festivals in 3 regions in Durban. So there is a lot of things that we're trying to highlight the importance of these artisanal skills for the young ones to can perhaps maybe recognize, see it, maybe it can make them to love to become an artisan. So there will be competitions, there will be conference, as well as a career festival.
So if we talk about this competition, I mean, and we say that that they'll be competing in 21 different skills areas. So I want to hear a little bit about some of the areas that you are promoting and you are saying that the youth should move into, because I would imagine that those are the areas that we are really lacking the skills, and we need the youth to move in there, because this is what's needed to develop and move the country forward. So which areas are we looking at?
We have got quite a lot of them. Amongst them will be bakery, mobile robotic, will be CNC turning, electric installation, welding, plumbing and heating, cooking, restaurant services, air condition, it's a lot of them. There are about 24 in number that the learners will be competing in preparation of the bigger one in France in September.
Yeah, good. So really sort of a whole range of them. And some of the training programs offered by technical, vocational, educational and training colleges and universities of technology are still out of the financial reach for many South Africans. And that's probably one of the big problems. I know it's not your sort of your area to talk about the financing of all of this, but I suppose, I mean, you would be in the know, is that perhaps there are a lot of the youth that want to go into this, but they just cannot afford to pursue skilled vocational careers. How is the department addressing this?
You see, it's so surprising how is our youth responding to this. First of all, our minister, Dr. Blade Nzimande, has allocated some funds. So there is a funding grant that every learner will receive when he goes to pursue this type of qualification. On top of that, he'll also be paid a stipend to go and do this qualification. So we're trying to beg them, but somehow they run to the university. So what is happening is, as soon as you register and you get funding from the SETAs, most of the funding is coming from the SETAs or National Skills Fund, which is an entity of the department. And from there, as you are training, every month you'll be paid stipend so that you can be able to travel from your place of home to where the training is taking place. And also at the end of the day, you'll be exposed to a company where you'll be doing what we call workplace training to get the feel of reality about that particular qualification. So the department is doing everything in its power to try and ensure that they get the necessary training so that they can qualify and become the responsible citizen of this country. That's basically what our department is doing in terms of trying to help these learners.
Let me ask you a very important question. What about the emergence of artificial intelligence and robotics? I heard you talk to the fact that robotics is one of the things that is needed in terms of skills and will be on show. But artificial intelligence taking over a lot of these areas, obviously the ones we talk, I mean, AI, I don't imagine can sort of help in every skill and every industry, but it must be having an effect in some of them.
It is something that is coming in. Remember, this was the thing that was done within the University of Technologies, but now it is filtering into the TVET colleges. Basically, like the skill, in this case being the robotics. It is a skill that was done at the University of Technology, but it's now coming to the TVET college. Like the other one, mechatronics, is also the skill that was done within the University of Technologies, but now it's coming in within the TVET college space. So bit by bit, it's coming in the artificial intelligence, and that is that is the fourth revolution that we are embarking on. So we are getting there slowly but surely.
Good.
First and foremost, remember, we need to equip also our lecturers that are the ones that are going to impart this knowledge to the students. So we are getting there bit by bit.
Good. Final question. How do people get there? Just give us the details. How do people register? How are you able to sort of attend this quickly, if you don't mind?
In terms of competitions, we've started with the local heat or the local competition that were happening at the TVET colleges. That is done and dusted. We went to the provincial competitions, where in the province we're competing. That is done and dusted. And the winners of each and every province, they are now going into national competition, which is happening in Durban.
Okay.
And they are now going there. So obviously the competition is already at an advanced stage.
Okay, all right, so there you go. So at an advanced stage, jump in there, take a look, everybody. But it is happening. Follow those that perhaps could be representing us out in Lyon in France. That's Joey Bopape, the Acting Chief Director responsible for artisan development at the Department of Higher Education and Training. It's the WorldSkills South African National Competition Conference and Career Festival that's being held at Nkosi Albert Lutuli Durban International Conference Centre between the 1st and the 3rd of February.